So we'll go on to Vault. So here's our Vault constellation. Obviously we saw this at the end of the Wasteland video, but this is actually apparently part of Vault at this point. Now it's definitely part of Wasteland because it's where you watch the cutscene. But at this point it was not. So here we go. And I just realized, because I watched ahead a little bit, the little chibi on the right is Kara. Kara was a dear friend of mine in the beta, unfortunately, because of reset and friend resets and everything else, and then beta reset completely, beta wipe and reinvite. I have completely lost touch with her. So Kara, if you're out there, my friend from the beta, please get in touch, because I would love to meet you in live. I lost a number of my friends, because most of my friends did not do social media any more than I did. I did create a fake account for Facebook, just a not personal account for Facebook, so that I could be part of the beta page group on Facebook. But a lot of other people did not even do that. So here's our emotes. Obviously, my little guy here doesn't have the telekinesis to do this, which is always a problem. Fortunately, I have more me's at my disposal. Now, this is not my first alternate account. This is my second, must be my second. So this must be one of these strangers. No, I thought I had lit that. Anyway, one of those strangers is one of my other accounts. That's how I managed to get people with telekinesis to help with the door. Here's a new look pray emote. Very easy to screw that up. Oops. I'm still trying to land on the thing. And there's our first emote for Vault. Hooray. And like I said before somewhere, that one of the reasons I stopped at 3 alternates was because then I had enough people for every 4-person door. Also, that's as many devices as I had. I had 2 iPads and 2 phones, because I had an old phone that had it was no longer a phone. It was basically just a glorified iPod. But it worked for a 3rd account, so I could open 4-person doors. Like I said, the reason I started new accounts was to see the game fresh. And then I would just save them. Because after all that work, it's hard to just let it go. I actually created more, and some of them were just let go and discarded. At a certain point, though, it was the only way. Once they made the game more like it is current day, you could no longer see spirits. And so you lost the ability to see any of the new spirit animations. Right now, this isn't happening yet. Although I think we might have had 1 or 2 new animations. Yeah, the prairie ones were all, possibly some of those were new. But if you'd already had the spirits, you weren't seeing those. And sometimes you weren't seeing where a spirit moved to. Because you don't see the spirits anymore. Like that, one of the Wasteland spirits that moved. So it was nice to create the new account so that I could then just see everything that was new. And also tutorials. You wouldn't necessarily see everything in a tutorial if you were a veteran player. Still wonder why I can't do the whole 4-person door if he can do all that. At least with upgraded telekinesis, I should be able to move 4 stones. Seriously. Seriously, guys. Anyway, that is not how it is. And we have candles to light. Our big giant table. And now I can't remember, is that table lowered in the current version? It was lowered at one time, at least. But I'm thinking it's still pretty big in the current version because that's where the spirits are at the table. Anyway, I don't know. I have a hard time remembering. I've been watching so many recordings. So the next level of vault, the next floor of vault has changed a little bit. And it changed a couple updates prior to this. I think it changed in May with the Aviary update. And they added the stance in here, the folded hand stance. So it looks very similar to what it looks like today in the live version of the game. But that's when that was added. And so this is the first recording I'm posting of this. This is not the first recording I have of it, but you can kind of see it up there, right there. And we used to fly very funny. I think this might have been one of the first, where we actually flew in vault. We used to kind of move kind of funny through vault. Now, one of the interesting things here, and thankfully they changed it, was this new emote required the blowing kisses emote in order to activate. Two people with the blowing kisses emote to activate. Then they moved blowing kisses to seasonal, which was a problem because then it was suddenly not available for people to having trouble getting it. There you go. Having trouble, they couldn't get the emote anymore. So then they stopped making this, eventually stopped making this and require blowing kisses. Those are the little things that they would change one thing and not, I guess, I suspect they didn't realize the implications that meant of it. But they would always say that they knew exactly what they were doing, and I never really trusted that. Up there's the tree growing. Alrighty. Alright, so there's a view of all that. And then we'll head back on down, and it looks like you can get to the next thing. No, you can't. Head back down, and of course this puzzle actually did change a little bit as far to how the stones that come down were situated. Here they're still in one level line, but at one point they were staggered and really hard to light because they were also sticky, and so you'd stick to it and then try to get away, and as you got away you would overshoot the next one. Oh, it was frustrating. So now I think they're staggered a little bit, but not very much. And of course we had to light all of them on the upper levels as well, as now they auto light on the upper levels. This one you still have to light manually, but the next 2 levels the stones auto light after once you've brought those lanterns down. And we still have our old 4th level, what it has been with our hollow crater meteor, something like that, hollow crater, hollow meteor, whatever it was, the description was right there. That was a quest, one of our daily quests. You can also see, if you saw on the stone above the platform, there is a home or an aviary, return to aviary button there too. So you can return to aviary at any time by tapping that. We're after some candles. And I guess Manta Call was in the game, but was unavailable today, or the day that I recorded the forest. I don't know if I'd gone back and gotten it on that account yet at this time. This was or the next day after I did forest, so I probably didn't. So my little character here that's on the recording is not going to have Manta Call yet, but my main account does. And that's how most people got Manta Call, was by or the ghost Manta Call was by having somebody else chirp. Oops. Somehow Kara didn't get it. I thought she did. And there's ghost Manta Call or cosmic Manta Call. I actually like this version of this level, but I really like what they did to update it that we have currently. It's beautiful, and I remember just being awestruck when I saw that update. It was just gorgeous. So I'm glad they changed this, because it just looks so much more beautiful in the current version, the live version. It's very hard still for me to see everything in there. So I'm actually not used to the layout still yet today's layout, the live layout. I'm still not used to, because I played this so much more back then, and I don't play much anymore other than streaming, and so I still haven't gotten my bearings of that entire new layout, and that's been there for a year. So here's our levitate emote. A lot of people call them meditate emote, but it's really levitate. Because where you're asked to meditate, you're not asked to do this emote. The meditate is just sit, and it's in specific areas. So I call this levitate instead. Just like Oreo, it takes a little while. Speaking of that, I never did go to Oreo on this playthrough here, but we know how difficult that is today. It was very difficult in beta to do that by chance. Even today. Today it's easy to get up there. It's not so easy to get Oreo, the dog, because a lot of players just want to get up there for the candles and the star and the winged light. So it is still hard to get Oreo even today. There's a new look to the levitate spirit. And there's that. And there's one blank spot in there, in that constellation, that I think I'm not sure if I go back to the emote menu or not. We'll have to see. I think we have everything in here now, though. So there was just the two up here, one down, and then one, and then two is 5. But there were 6 spots. You can still see that tree. Okay, we're going to skip on until we're going to the next level. And then there was never anything on this level other than this creature. That was it. All there was to this level was lighting these lanterns for the puzzle, and then that's it. So obviously they added the bones and one winged light here eventually, but never anything else. So this level still has some possible, so we have to light these here, whereas we don't have to do that today. These auto light for us today. So this level still has some room to expand if they ever choose to, because they expanded the third level. But I think we need to just be aware that this level could change in the future, because there's really nothing still here other than the winged light to go get, and then that's it. But it's the most boring level there is right now. Our floor of vault there's just nothing there. And it was always cool to climb this little that little stone there and take it up. It will still take you up to a point, I think, but then you fall off. I can't remember now. But this was our elevator. We used this instead of the intended one. Actually, the other one didn't move back then. The platform didn't move. It does now. The platform will move you all the way to the top. And I am so glad that they changed this so that you have more up here, because initially it was just the little teeny tiny island, and that was it. I'm going to skip ahead. So all you had was the little place where the manta eventually dropped you. And you can see the stone up there. And there we are. And the way to get to this cutscene used to be to have one person sit here and through the cutscene. Another person sit to the cutscene and skip it. And then you could, if you had warp, obviously, you could then, the person who skipped the cutscene could then warp to the kid in the cutscene, still watching the cutscene, and be there, and then they would then warp back, and so you'd be stuck in this area. Now it's only possible with table or with the piggyback rocket, the piggy rocket from underneath. You can piggy rocket up there from underneath. You have to go through the cutscene first, though, because the cutscene's actually located in the uppermost level. My terrible memory. I can't think of how much this has changed, this scene. I don't watch the cutscenes too often anymore. I actually rarely finish Vault. Very rarely finish Vault, unless I want to go do the glitches. And then I don't watch the cutscenes. And see, that scene makes me think you're going to be alone in the next area, and then they want you to join with friends. So that doesn't make any sense to me, because it reminds me of Journey, where you either are alone or you're with your buddy, if you have a buddy at the top of Vault. If you have a buddy at the top of Vault, then you have two people in that last scene in Vault in a tower. If you don't have a buddy, I missed that statue. If you don't have a buddy, then you're alone in that scene at the top of tower. So that, anyway, one of those things that didn't ever make any sense to me. So that is it for Vault. So that is it for this set of walkthroughs. I did not do Eden. Eden had changed and gone back, so there was no Eden here as far as I remember. So it's pretty much the same as it's been, as the videos I've shown. Then it will change, and that's when I'll do my next Eden video, is when Eden changes again. So thanks for watching these. I hope you enjoyed them. Next one will be, I'm pretty sure, next series of these will be for the winter season that we got.